I'm ranking every single fragrance that I own, and this time it's Gucci Guilty Absolute. This is a flanker made by legendary perfumer Alberto Marias. You may know him from, for example, Acqua di Gio, so very well known. And this fragrance is a flanker of Gucci Guilty, which by itself to me smells quite like an uninspired, generic masculine fragrance, which is not something that I'm into really. Meanwhile this, I'm actually surprised how Gucci allowed this to even happen. Oh my god, I wouldn't be surprised to see this fragrance in a niche house, for example. It's super bitter, super masculine, ultra dry, and leathery, herbaceous. So, without further ado, the first moment I spray it on, it smells bitter, dry, animalistic, and it has a bit of, I think, powderiness to it. Definitely also kind of woody, but more balsamic in the bitter end of the spectrum. It's projecting quite well, and it smells just amazing. Very much divisive though. Not many people enjoy it that much at all. So keep that in mind. After an hour in, the fragrance softens up quite a bit, and it becomes slightly less sharp. Slightly more mellow, you can start smelling the slightly musky notes. There is still this, I think, metacresol note there, which is, you know, kind of animalistic, kind of leathery. And it definitely smells slightly a bit more reduced. I have gotten some comments that it smells interesting. I did wear this to office, so I got some comments from colleagues even that this smells really good. So men seem to like it quite a bit. And this is something that if you're a man and you don't like the perfume smell, this may fit you quite well. And I myself have worn this actually quite a bit. There's a bit of a dent there. Obviously it doesn't compare to some other fragrances, but you know, there are like 30-ish days that I've used it on myself. And actually I recommend spraying this more than 5 times on you, probably, because it does reduce in projection, in longevity, quite quickly. Talking about longevity, about 3 hours in, I feel that it's basically became slightly more than a skin scent, you know. You still pick it up, but it's mostly just a faint, musky smell with some of the characteristics, some of that bitterness, some of that herbaceousness, dryness. Oh, such a beautiful dryness there, and that's kind of unfortunate. I really like the opening of this. Actually, the first time I bought this fragrance, I enjoyed it that much that I heard some rumors that it's being discontinued, and I thought, oh my god, it's gonna go up in price. So I bought like 5 more unopened bottles of this as an investment. It's been so far a pretty bad investment. And so that you know that I'm actually serious about this, here's one of them, here's 4 of them. I'm not proud of this purchase, but it is definitely a learning experience for myself. It's something that normally wouldn't be released by a designer, but somehow this fragrance, it seeped through the cracks of all the corporate bureaucracy and all the, you know, all the crap that's going on in corporate world. And about 8 to 9 hours after the initial spray, it smells undoubtedly musky, clean, slightly metallic. I would imagine they used habanolite there quite a bit, and ethylene brassylate. Creates a bit of a clean, musky, slightly iron-clothes type of feel to it, but it's very much deep into your skin. It's a skin scent through and through. There's basically nothing left from the initial bitterness, powderiness, dryness. All of the characteristics of this fragrance that you initially smell are basically gone, and you're left with just a nice, clean skin scent. Quite surprising actually, considering the opening of it. Overall, I consider it to be quite challenging and divisive. So if you like it, you'll probably love it. But most people, they'll hate it. In fact, I've gotten 2 positive comments about this. One is from a male colleague who doesn't really know that I'm into perfumery, but he said, whoa, nice cologne, man. Smells really nice. And the other one is from a female colleague, also a niche freak like me. She knows that I'm super into perfumery, and she asked if this is something that I'm working on. So that is quite flattering, thank you. But in fact, it's not. And I told her, and then she seemed a bit disappointed. I haven't gotten any bad feedback about this. Nobody has told me that, oh my god, what stinks here? And that's probably good. It's probably good because there could be some people that do feel like it. Probably a lot of people on a paper strip or on their own skin, they would hate this. But in the air, it's not that offensive, thankfully. So given everything I've said so far, where does this fragrance rank among my other fragrances? Gucci Guilty Absolute has a similar situation to Dior Fahrenheit. It's divisive, I love the initial smell, and it doesn't last that long. The thing with it is, though, it lasts abysmally. So while Dior Fahrenheit to me seems that it lasts somewhat longer and it has a characteristic smell to it, this smells much more generic. So I'm thinking, it cannot go to S tier at all. Can it go to A tier? Maybe, but it doesn't warrant it, I think. So probably it's B tier. I really like it. I'm letting my bias guide this. Obviously it doesn't last enough for it to be anywhere near the top, but I think it could be in the B tier just because of the unique smell, just because that this is a legendary perfumer working on this, and this is a designer house, so it gets bonus points for a designer house giving us something they wouldn't normally do. And if you want to see how I reviewed Fahrenheit, here's a video just about that.